chopsticks are actually the new whisk. Just to give you guys the intel on the latest developments in technology. See this flour? See this egg? Give it one minute. I don't know, maybe more like 10, and it will be completely homogenized. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just gorgeous? Fucking gorgeous, mate. Let's see if I can do a flip. Whoa! 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 Look at that! Alright guys, now that I've stuffed myself with pancakes, let's get down to brass tacks. So my name's Pete, I'm the creator of Roamingrolls. It's a website I've designed that's full of guides and articles on Jiu-Jitsu. Today I wanted to talk about learning Jiu-Jitsu in an environment where no one speaks your language. So I've been living in Korea for the past year. Before I came here, I thought I'd be able to get by just communicating with the language of Jiu-Jitsu. But it turns out I ran into a lot of hurdles doing that. Through trial and error, I've learnt a lot of lessons over my time here in Korea, and I think these tips will be really useful for you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to play you some of my Jiu-Jitsu videos I've taken whilst living out here, along with my top 5 bits of advice that I can give you for learning Jiu-Jitsu in an environment where no one speaks your language. You ready? Let's go! Right guys, I'm going to start straight off the bat by telling you that as much as Jiu-Jitsu is compared to that of a language, it isn't a fully functioning language. Language is far more expressive and far more detailed and practical than Jiu-Jitsu as a means of communication. And the fact of the matter is that you won't learn as fast without the use of language. Otherwise, every Jiu-Jitsu class that you find would just be conducted in silence. People would just be miming techniques to each other, and that is simply not the case. There are, however, so many subtleties to techniques in Jiu-Jitsu that require in-depth analysis and discussion. Context also plays a huge role. Details such as this need to be highlighted when learning techniques. Language is a key facilitator of this. I really did think I could get through just speaking the air quotes language of Jiu-Jitsu before I came to Korea, but it didn't take me long to realize this wasn't the case. Over the past year I've found ways to minimize the loss of these important details, and if you're in the same position as me, you should find these tips incredibly useful. So let's hit the ground running with tip number 1, that is independent research. Independent inquisition and exploration is a key factor to learning anything. It plays an even more important role in an environment where no one speaks your language. Watch what the instructor does, note it down, practice it as much as you can, but when you get home, consult the oracle of YouTube or instructionals, or wherever it is you get your information from, and watch them as many times as you can. You will pick up so many details that you missed out during your class, I guarantee you. So tip number 2, this is to demonstrate your interpretation with your instructor. After you've watched your instructor do his demonstration, try the technique a few times, then call him over and ask him to watch you perform it. Try and do this as much as possible, whether you feel confident with the move or not. You'll find he or she will point out details you didn't even know were there. You'll be surprised how many pop up. Tip number 3, find the right training partner. Though your instructor might not speak a lick of English, you may find a buddy who does. Even if they can barely string nouns and verbs together, the benefits of even being able to vaguely communicate with them are huge. What's more important is that your training partner is someone who you get along well with. If that's the case, they'll be more patient when it comes to learning techniques and understand your lack of communication. Also, find someone who loves to drill. A lot of the secrets that you'll have missed out during the demonstration will be revealed in the drilling. Persistence is key when it comes to learning in this environment. The temptation to just nod and agree after try number 2 or 3 will be great, trust me. It may be uncomfortable at times, but asking that 1 or 2 extra times could make the difference between understanding and not understanding a technique. If your instructor is good, he'll recognize the need for this level of persistence. As much as you can mitigate the barrier in communication, you're still at a big disadvantage. Luckily, because of the growing Jiu-Jitsu community, it's getting more and more likely that wherever you end up, you'll be a stone's throw away from like-minded Jiu-Jitsu obsessed expats. I live in Daegu in Korea, and the small Jiu-Jitsu community I've formed over this past year have been a lifeline to my learning. Whatever it is I learn during the week, I drill and discuss with my friends on the weekend. Most of the time, one of them already knows a detail I missed at my usual gym. It's also a great opportunity to drill anything else you're curious about. Training at a gym where no one speaks your language can also be a bit isolating at times. Forming a group like this can reignite a key aspect of what makes Jiu-Jitsu so addictive, the community. So guys, those are my top 5 tips for learning Jiu-Jitsu in another language. If you have any other suggestions or bits of advice that you've learned over the years, or if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. So there are plenty of things you can do to mitigate the struggle of learning Jiu-Jitsu in another language. But what's most important is not to stress. The more you stress out about it, the less receptive you'll be to the techniques and any other lessons that you'll learn in the gym. So most importantly, just chill. You're learning. It may not be the ideal situation, but you're learning. That's all that matters. So that, combined with the tips I've given you, should give you the tools to get the most out of learning Jiu-Jitsu in another language. Also, if you head to Roamingrolls.com, I've actually written an article about this topic. In that article, I go into a lot more detail about the benefits of the tips I've given you, and I also add in a few extra tips along the way. You can also find all kinds of articles and guides on many aspects of rolling in Asia. If you liked my video or feel like you got something out of it, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be posting frequent videos about the Jiu-Jitsu scene here in Asia, along with plenty of hints and tips. In the meantime, have a great day and happy rolling.